Have you ever wanted to strangle your kids or a loved one?
Yeah.
Well, this is how it would shorten your life instead of theirs. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome to the 50 Shades of Pain show. I'm Dr. Donish, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr.
Escaloni.
And this show is about your health, your well-being, and our efforts from Wellward Medical to help empower not only our patients, but our community in having a better understanding about their body, their physiology, and how to demystify pain and emotional suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So today we are talking about something we all experience, literally
Stress.
all the time.
All the time.
Now, stress is not a bad thing. I mean, obviously, when we exercise, we're stressing the body, so we're training it to have greater resiliency and greater strength and, use it or lose it mentality by building things up. And emotional stress is the same way. It has a utility, it has a value and a role. Obviously, if, we were cavemen and we were being chased by a bear, we wouldn't want to be like, a bear's coming to catch me.
Hey, bear.
Hey, bear. We would be stressed out. And that stress has a role because it jolts cortisone into our system. It tightens all of our muscles. It tightens our ligaments. It gets us primed, ready to run and fight this bear. But if you had that bear chasing you every single day, it would actually have a shortening effect on your lifespan, even if you were to outrun the bear every single day.
Wait, even if you escape the bear?
Even if you were to escape the bear, you would still have a shorter lifespan.
All right, so now you got me curious. Tell me more, Dr. Donish.
The impact of stress over time means that your body is going to be in this constant fight or flight mode. And in our nervous system, we've got two systems that really are at play all the time and in different levels of balance. You've got the parasympathetic, which in medicine we say it's the rest and digest system. And then you've got your sympathetic, which is your fight or flight. So anytime you've ever felt, that level of tension where you feel like your heart's racing, you could be sweating, you feel like you're ready to fight or flight or run away, that's your sympathetic system surging. And that system shuts down a whole bunch of other systems in the body in order to direct resources towards the ones that running away, having better vision, particularly at night, less focused vision, but better vision. It tightens up your muscles and makes them ready to run. But if you've got an injury, that means that it's also going to put tension on that injury and change the way your body has adapted to modifying movements around that injury. So everything in your body shifts to adjust for an escape or a conflict. But in that state, you're also producing a tremendous amount of neurotransmitters that are not helpful in a day-to-day manner because they change the way your brain thinks, they change the way you respond, they change your reactivity and your ability to restore normal, natural function. So in this constant state of agitation, you're actually using up resources that are better used towards creating longer life or healthier quality of life.
Like maybe recovering for the day, recovering injuries, getting ready for intellectual products that you're about to produce.
Having an emotional presence with someone.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in a state of runaway or fight, you're not going to have the same kind of level of emotional connectivity that you have with other people because you're concerned about their safety, you're concerned about your own safety, and your resources and your mind are all going to be action-oriented rather than reflection-oriented. And that
Pretty good. I like this.
And that reflection orientation is really important. We undervalue it, but it really does have a big impact. Now, I've experienced this myself, James. I'm sure you have too. And we've seen this in many of our patients where they'll come to us and they're in this state of chronic anxiety and they're dealing with pain, they're dealing with digestive issues, they're dealing with quality of sleep, with quality of life, or just level of satisfaction. And this happens to all of us. At some point in our lives, we have something that takes place that puts us in a state of higher level of stress or anxiety. The toll is pretty remarkable. I mean, I think back at certain periods of my life where I've had really, really high levels of stress, And I think about how much my body changed just during that time frame. I used to have a head of hair that was like, forehead down to here and bushy as hell. Barbers would say, I need to get another pair of scissors because these have gone dull.
I can't imagine this right now.
And progressively, every time I had those massive periods of stress in my life, I would notice my hairline go back up about an inch or two.
Oh, I got that beat. I got 3 kids.
So stress really does have a big impact on us, and it's just simply the ability for our body to have that downtime in order to restore and regenerate. We just did an episode about sleep and how important that is and why that helps to restore our body. This is the same thing. If you're in this chronic state of anxiety, even your waking moments are filled with tension and filled with like that fight or flight response, but so are your sleep moments. Your sleep actually gets shorter and lower quality when you're in that state of red alert, all vigilance to all parts of your body.
Now this is great because this is reminding me of a patient that we had that when I first started talking to them when they came here, they were talking about how they'd had some chronic pain, but everything started hurting. Like they were in a relationship, but they felt it was on the rocks because they couldn't just communicate with people. It seemed like they were overwhelmed all the time. And I know that we had a lot of stuff we had to deal with them. And I think ketamine was a part of that treatment plan. It wasn't the only thing. You did a lot of work with that person. Could you describe a little bit more?
This is the patient that had that relationship issue we had talked about earlier today.
Yes.
So absolutely, our ability to connect with our loved ones is a big foundation to the quality of our relationships. And so if you're in a state of anxiety, it's really easy to displace what you're feeling on the inside to the people you care most about. Because when you're in a relationship, whether it's with whether it's with a partner, a child, a parent, any of those kinds of really close, intimate relationships, the boundary between yourself and your partner or your loved one becomes blurry. So people start to treat their loved ones like they treat themselves. And if they're in that chronic state of anxiety or stress, they're feeling that tension on the inside. And the only place that often shows up is when they deal with themselves or when they deal with a loved one. So when I say that stress reduces your ability to reflect because you're in that actions plane, that inherently emotions will come to the surface, and they will come to the surface in ways that you don't expect or you're not wanting. This is why, like in this person's case, they would come home and they would have this stress, but rather than being able to downshift and just connecting with the stress, connecting with their loved one, allowing that to subside, they would still be in that action mode. And so they would translate all of the stress that they had during the day onto their partner and nitpick, or they would explode over the smallest little agitation or disagreement. It was almost like it wasn't in their control. And the more they tried to control it, the worse the problem got. So the solution in that situation wasn't to change their behavior as much as it was to identify the feelings, identify the emotions, connect with those emotions. And this person really was challenged. She never learned how to do that. And so during the ketamine infusion, we were able to tap into that and understand it better and bring it to the surface.
Notice, guys, he didn't say the first thing was, hey, doc, I'm stressed. Here, take a lot of these anti-stress medications, anti-anxiety medications, and get out of my office like you normally get in healthcare. Trying to get to the root of the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's really gone missing in healthcare, because we've been so focused on the pills and the treatments and the injections and the surgeries, is just that mindfulness, that connection, the humanism of medicine. And that's something that we really try to restore in our practice at Wellward, is really connecting with the inner being of who you are and understanding that the problems you're presenting take place on a plane of action, and they're not necessarily reflecting what's happening on the plane of emotions and feelings and subjective experiences. And that's where a lot of these issues will reside. I often say diseases of identity. These are conditions in which they're subjective. It's hard to say that here's an x-ray or a lab test that's going to identify the problem. There are more things that come out through talking. And stress and the impact it has on your body is one of those things. If you're not able to connect with the emotional experience of whatever action element, whatever in your life is causing you stress, then it's going to continue to fester and make the problem worse.
I think that from everything you've just talked about, you're really speaking to every hardworking American out there. I know I felt this all the time, talk to my family, just rough days. They'd be like, Dad's stressed again. And I don't like that, but by using these methods right here, it's allowed me to realize that this is something that we can take control of so that our family members don't have to suffer.
And if it's something that you're not used to doing, it's not intuitive to learn, but we can help quite a lot with the different resources we have, like our mental health resources. Ketamine infusions are incredibly helpful. People often say it's like 20 years of therapy all at once in a not so, stigmatized, touchy-feely kind of way.
All right, so I think that we gave some good information to our viewers back at home.
Yeah, and just an update on that patient, she actually did do a whole lot better. She's still in her relationship with her partner. And a lot of that was attributable to just the changes she made and how she looked at and addressed the stress in her life.
I love that. It was such a great outcome. So happy with us too.
Well, thank you for watching a 50 Shades show. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below or check out our other videos, particularly the one about sleep, because it has a big impact on your ability to regenerate and restore your stress tolerance during your waking hours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm Dr. Escalante.
And I'm Dr. Donish. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.